Hey folks, here's a beginner lesson on an old time tune called Untitled. Hope you like it. Alright, now that you've heard it, let's learn how to play it. So, before even starting the tune, I recommend playing an A major scale, starting on open A, 2 bows. And then play it a lot more just to kind of warm up. If you're already warmed up, it may not be as important, but at least do it once. Constantly kind of connect the scale with the tune. Then you'll start to hear scales as music, which will make them more fun. But then it'll also help you play the tunes that you want to play. Okay, so we're just going to work through this tune part by part, starting with the A part. Now this tune is kind of like half the length of a typical fiddle tune. The A part is 4 bars and the B part is 4 bars. And normally it's 8 bars per part. But with all this higher math aside, what that means is that for each quarter the tune will be a little bit shorter than what I normally do on these lessons, okay? So let's start with the first quarter of the A part. Here it is just with flow. And now more broken down. Okay, and now I'll just explain it. We start A2, 2, open E, A2, then A1, and then A2, 1. So this whole first bar or first quarter of Untitled. Let's loop it a few times. So if you're new to FiddleHed, or if you even have been here a while, know how great a practice looping is. It's a way to turn anything more into music. Because if you're sitting there struggling with it, you just do it over and over again until you can kind of stop thinking so much and just kind of be like, oh, okay, I got this. But you can only get that I got this moment if you loop it for quite a bit, okay? And another thing to experiment with is how big of a piece to loop. So if you're really struggling with this length of a loop, try to make it a shorter loop, like the first 4 notes. Maybe that's what you actually need to practice. Does that make sense? Let me know in a comment if you have questions on looping. It's one of the best things I teach. Sorry to ramble on, but really, if you just ended the video right now and you went home and looped on everything you did, whatever instrument you're learning, it would transform your playing. Okay, so the rest of the lesson I'm going to move with less gabbing through the tune. So now let's do the second quarter of the A part with flow. Broken down. And that is open A2, 1, open D2, 1, 2. Okay? Now let's move on to the third quarter of the A part. Broken down. Okay, that's A2, 1, open D2 twice. And now let's do the fourth quarter. broken down. So now let's do the entire A part with a play along track. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so if any of that was hard, I recommend not moving on quite yet. Go back, review that hard part, break it down if possible. If something's hard, see what's actually hard. Maybe within this big piece that you think is hard, you can narrow it down to a littler thing that's hard, and then maybe even get more fine-tuned until you find exactly the thing that's hard. And then it turns out, when you take it out of context, it's not that hard anymore. I call that process micro-practice. So say you think the second half of the tune is hard, and then you realize, oh, there's something more in the beginning that's hard, and then you realize, oh, it's A to D2. Ah, okay. Now you can just practice A, D2, A, D2. Then you pull back and do a bigger thing. If you use this method of micro practice, you'll be able to, in time, work through any frustrating thing that you encounter. All right, well, let's move on and do the first quarter of the B part. Broken down, E3, 3, 3, 1, low 2. All right, so you need to know low 2 for this. And if you're new to low 2, this is a great tune. You can just practice E1 to low 2 a lot. A danger with low 2, if you're new to it, is that it drags the first finger maybe a little sharp. Or if you hold the first down, it drags the low 2. Anyway, practice that. Let's move on to the second quarter of the B part. Broken down, E1, E, A2, 2, 1. Again. All these little things, if you loop these little bits, if you loop them, they start to become really beautiful and almost like their own little pieces. I love practicing this way because it's not only good from a practice perspective, but it just feels like constantly being creative without even having to do anything. Just play different parts and you get like new melodies. You know, it's just perceptually will sound like a new melody if you just play a little bit from the whole. All right, and that's how a lot of tunes get born too. You take one little, it's like a plant, like a succulent or some plant where you can just grab a piece and then stick that in the dirt, and then that grows. That's the way a lot of these tunes can get written. You know, they get a piece from an old one thrown to make a new one. All right, but you're not here to listen to me talk about stuff like that. You want to know the rest of the song. Sorry, I'll get back to it. Third quarter of the B part. It's the same as the third quarter of the A part, and guess what? So is the fourth quarter. So you already know it, in theory. That is, if you really practice the A part before moving on. So the whole second half of the B part is... Right? Okay, cool. So the more you notice these patterns, it makes it easier to learn. So and it also means that if you learn the first part really well, often things are repeated later on. So it's really worth an investment of your time to stay with like the first, like the A part, or even the first quarter. Just master that. It'll pay off later because you'll have more confidence as you move through the tune. So now I'm just gonna slowly play the B part. And I think that slow, for those of you who are beginners and you wish you could play faster, I want to encourage you by saying that there's things that are great about playing slow that a lot of hotshots miss out on. And mainly the melodies really are become so beautiful when you play them slowly. Yeah, so, but that's just my 2 cents. You know, if you like fast, then play fast. What can I say? I can play pretty fast. I can't really, I don't know. I think I can move my fingers pretty fast, but I think with the music that really moves my soul for playing and listening is something slower, more heartfelt, more melodic. But to each his own, you know? Whatever you end up doing, if you want to play turbocharged bluegrass, I hope this lesson was helpful, and I hope that you'll eventually get there. And I really believe some of the principles in this lesson, like looping and micro practice, can help you. Okay? So cool. If you liked FiddleHed, if you like this video, please click the subscribe button and the like button and ding that notifications bell. And finally, thanks for watching, and now just go fiddle with it. Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive, step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the videography. Excellent! And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.